there's World Championship boxing to look forward to. Well, Brian's looking forward to transforming the pub into an art gallery now, not with a bang.
Nothing can bring back the hour, the splendor in the grass, the glory in the flower. We will grieve not, rather find strength in what remains behind. What? Wordsworth. This is Wordsworth country, you know.
Oh, I know it is.
That's from his intimations of immortality.
Oh, I didn't know he did them.
What?
Imitations. Oh, he just did poetry.
No, not imitations, Oh, never mind. Oh, it's easy to understand how the father of English romanticism could be inspired by such a landscape. I can see him now.
Where?
In my mind's eye, Colin.
Oh.
He must have walked these very hills. Stood where I'm standing.
I bet he didn't bloody stand where I'm standing.
You see, Colin, poetry's pure emotion conveyed from the soul onto the paper. Doesn't come to many men.
I expect he's come to you, though.
Well, yes, funnily enough, Colin, I have been moved to pen the odd stanza.
Oh, really?
When I was a student at Leeds University, one or two of my little efforts were published.
Fed up with fish. Catching him, cooking him, eating him, nothing but fish, fish, fish.
They appeared in Outcry. Quite a popular magazine at the time in Leeds poetry circles. My sonnet on the Peterloo massacre went down very well.
Rump steak. That's what I miss. Fresh from the butcher. Nice, thick, juicy steak with all the trimmings. Instead of bloody fish.
Would you shut up about your stomach? I'm talking about poetry, literature, culture. You see, Colin, you ought to spend a little more time thinking about the spiritual side of life. Man does not live by bread alone, Colin.
Oh, wouldn't mind some bread. We haven't got any bread. Quite like bread. It's fish I object to.
Philistine. Well, come on, hurry up. Haven't you finished yet?
I'm trying. It's just this last one. He won't keep still.
You see, Colin, now there's only 4 of us left. Each of us has a part to play, or however minor. I mean, obviously, your part won't be as great as mine, but there must be some contribution you can make to the cultural life of our little community. Come here, you brother! And again, perhaps there isn't.
I'm on radio duty in a few minutes.
Right, I won't be a moment. I'm just finishing off this revised roster. Now, you'll find under the new scheme that you've lost some wood gathering and 2 hours of water collection, but you've gained heavily on root vegetables.
Oh, good.
I've put Colin on permanent fish.
I'm not seeing him today.
No, he's still out the back, gutting. I thought I put Graham on light duties.
Oh, yes. Good idea. Why?
Well, energy conservation, keep his strength up and so on, you know. As you said, there's a question mark over his, mustn't tire himself out.
I see.
How are things, by the way? Any signs of Any prospects of...
What?
Well, is he... Are you, by any chance,
Pregnant?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
You see, Janet, there might not be any other survivors. We don't know, but if there aren't, then you take on a global significance. Your children will inherit the earth.
Oh, that'll be nice.
No. No, it won't be nice, Janet. Don't think you've quite grasped the magnitude of our predicament. You see, if you don't produce children, the human race could well die out. And not that I want to put too much pressure on you, but you're going to have to come up with something.
Hey, Ted. You're running a bit low on lager, aren't you? I don't know, Colin. Let me have a look. 12, 18. Ah, you're right. Don't worry, Ted. I'll pick up some more for you when I go into town. Thanks very much, Colin. Very decent of you. Oh, it's all right. It's no trouble. Here, Ted. There's a funny smell in here. It's you, Colin. There's that bloody fish you stink to high heaven. I'm sorry, Ted. I can't get rid of it. I've tried. I've had a good wash, put on some aftershave. Hasn't worked, though. I just smell like a fish with aftershave on.
We don't want her to feel left out.
It's all right. She won't mind. She can get on with things when I'm not there.
What things?
Well, I don't know. I'm not there, you see.
Well, I just thought it'd be a nice idea if she'd joined us.
No. She likes being on her own, I expect.
Do you want a drink?
Yes, I think I'll take a glass of claret. Colin, if you'll be so kind. Graham?
I don't know. I don't know what to have.
Don't have a lager. There aren't many left.
How about a grapefruit juice?
No, I was going to have a shandy or something.
No, better not. Alcohol's bad for the... have a grapefruit juice.
No, I'll have a shandy.
Right. Claret, shandy, and another bottle of lager for me. Put them on a slate, please, Ted. Right, you are, Colin.
You see, Janet doesn't really like pubs. Doesn't like the atmosphere, you see. She says it's just men sitting around drinking.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Oh, I think she has a point. I was never a great frequenter of the public house myself. No, I only ever came here for the pub quiz league. In fact, that's how I survived, hermetically sealed in that booth. Did I ever tell you how I survived?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Often.
See, regrettably, the modern pub degenerated into little more than a male-orientated drinking den. Oh, I could never see the point. Men drank as much as they could, as quickly as they could.
I once did 14 pints. It was Mike Bailey's stag night. Well, I say 14, but I threw up a bit after the 9th, so the record stands at 13 and a half.
Colin, kindly keep such repugnant revelations to yourself. You're a living testimony to the debasement of English hostelry. It wasn't always thus. It was different in days of yore.
My what?
What?
You said it was different in days of my something or other.
No, I didn't. I said in days of yore.
That's right. My what?
No, I meant days of old.
Well, that's not what you said. You should say what you mean. You're always criticising me for not saying what
shut up, Colin. You see, in the 18th and 19th centuries, the village inn, the coaching house, played a vital role in the cultural life of the community.
This shandy's flat.
Here's the lemonade. Last time I opened that bottle must have been... well, I can't remember.
Do you know, I see no reason why this place shouldn't assume a similar role. A cultural centre for our little community. Why not make it into an arts centre with music and poetry readings, paintings on the wall.
Because it's a bloody stupid idea. It's a pub, and a pub has to be like a pub.
Why?
Because it is a pub.
Colin, you've no imagination. We could all pitch in, all make our contribution, and I'm sure Janet will be keen to play her part. And then she'd feel inclined to come here a bit more regularly if we created a more stimulating ambience.
No, it's a lot of bother. It's not worth it.
I could organise the major artistic events, I suppose. Cultural seasons. Colin, you have an artistic background.
I was a sign writer.
Well, there you are, then. You can do a mural for us. By your tapestry of the key events in our survival, and then future generations will have a pictorial record of me and my achievements.
I don't do pictures, I only do letters.
Well, you can branch out.
No, too late now. Anyway, I've already done my best work. It's still there today. Corner of Bridge Street. Co-op funeral services. Brilliant.
Do you know what? This shandy smells of fish.
We could have an evening of folk songs. Used to do that in the Cubs. Well, they were more campfire songs, really. Marjorie would bring her guitar and we'd all sit round the fan heater. It was lovely.
Most of them folk songs are rubbish. Hey, nonny, nonny, foldy, roldy, roldy, roll. What's that supposed to mean?
It's traditional.
It's traditional rubbish.
Oh, Graham, you don't understand. Brian would understand. He's very cultured.
Oh.
He reads a lot. He knows about all sorts of things. He's a very clever man. Very clever.
If he's so flaming clever, how come he let his guttering silt up? His S-bend was chock-a-block.
Guttering's not everything, Graham. It's not of global significance. Not compared to some things like the future of the human race. I mean, what's going to happen in 50 or 100 years from now?
You'll still need decent guttering.
Well, we won't be around. It'll be our children and our children's children.
I thought so. I knew it wouldn't be long before we got back to having children.
Well, it's important. They're going to inherit the earth.
Where'd you get these daft ideas from?
Brian said it, and it's not daft. He said you've got to come up with something.
I know perfectly well what to do, thank you. I don't need any advice from him.
You know I'm all right. I can have children. We just assume you're all right because you say you are.
Well, I am.
Oh, I wish you'd have had that sperm test.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, what if you're not?
What?
What if you're not all right?
What do you mean?
Well, if you're not, that means for the past 4 years we've been wasting our time.
Oh, thank you very much.
We might have to try something different.
I'm not doing anything like that again. It's not natural.
No, I didn't mean that. It's just that what Brian was saying, it started me thinking. He's a very clever man, you know. An intellectual, really, and in the future you're going to need intellectuals. Be no good if we had a world full of people like Colin. What you're going to need is clever people. And you can pass that on in your genes, you know. You do understand, don't you, Graham? I wouldn't love you any less.
Are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting?
It's our duty. It's for the future.
This is unbelievable.
It's only an idea.
Well, you can put it right out of your mind.
Well, he wouldn't be there at the time. It's all artificial. He'd just donate some sperm. I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
Janet, go to sleep.
large community arts centre, housing the Brian Appleyard collection. The Brian Appleyard Bequest. The Appleyard Museum and Art Gallery. The Appleyard Institute. The Appleyard Academy of the Arts, founder Brian Appleyard, B.A. The Brian Appleyard World Heritage Foundation. Yes. That's got a nice ring to it.
Now, I'm particularly pleased with this acquisition, Colin. It's the Borgia family by Rossetti.
Loony-looking bunch, weren't they?
Yes, well, Rossetti wasn't painting a portrait as such. After all, they died some 400 years before he painted the portrait.
How did he know what they looked like, then?
Well, he didn't know in the literal sense.
So they might not have looked like that at all.
Well...
In fact, the odds are they didn't. Could be some other family. This Rossetti bloke's trying to pull a fast one.
No, it's not meant to be a representation. You see, it's Rossetti's vision. The artist sees things differently from you and me. Well, from you, anyway.
It's a phony. Why call it the Borgia family when it's not them? Why not call it who it is?
It is them. It's them. In essence.
Where's that?
In essence. In spirit. It's how we imagine the Borgia family.
Looks more like the Addams family. What made you choose these? Fancy going all the way to Carlisle Art Gallery and coming back with this load of old tosh.
Colin, these pictures were the pride of their collection, and now they're the pride of mine.
Should have got some proper art. Like, you know.
What?
Well, I don't know. Nudes, maybe.
Oh, that's just typical. I might have guessed.
What's wrong with nudes? You can have nudes in an art gallery. You can get away with it there.
Yes, exactly, but that's just the point, isn't it? I mean, you wouldn't be appreciating a work of art. You'd just be ogling.
All the famous painters did nudes. Big nudes, too, most of them. There's nothing wrong with it.
But I'm not saying there is anything wrong with it. Particularly?
You could do it at evening classes. Life drawing, it's called.
Yes, I know.
I went once with Dave Perry. Mind you, that was a con. We had to draw some old bloke with no clothes on. Well, that's not a nude, is it? Well, it's not what I call a nude, anyway. Yuck, that's just perverted.
Colin, you have no understanding of art, do you? You need educating. I'm going to show you my Parma.
Pardon?
I think even you will be staggered by this. Harvest Moon, Shoreham, by Samuel Palmer.
Is that it?
Yes.
What, all of it?
Exquisite, isn't it?
A bit small, isn't it? And it's out of focus.
What do you mean, out of focus? How can a painting be out of focus?
Oh, that one is. It's all blurry.
No, Colin, we've been through all this. It's how Samuel Palmer sees the harvest moon. It's his vision.
Oh, there's something wrong with his, then. He needs glasses.
Colin, you've no judgment in these matters. This is a masterpiece. Oh, welcome. Welcome. Well, what do you think?
Oh, it's very nice. It's much better. Looks lovely, doesn't it, Graham? Where did you get them all from?
He nicked them from Carlisle Art Gallery.
They're not nicked. They're on loan. I left little cards. On loan to Brian Appleyard. You would. Now then, here, look. This is the Borgia family by Rossetti.
Except it's not. It's a fake. It's not really them.
Shut up, Colin.
I think it's very nice indeed.
Yes. Now, notice the subtle use of light and shade.
Yes.
And how Rossetti manages to capture the conspiratorial nature of the family by placing the principal characters in the background.
Marjorie Oxley had a dress like that.
She was another big head.
Anything the matter, Graham?
No, there's nothing wrong with me.
Oh, now that's another nice one.
Ah, yes. Now, that's another painting I borrowed from the Bottomley bequest.
Yes.
That titchy one's supposed to be a masterpiece.
Oh, I don't think much of it, do you?
No, I think it's crap.
Yeah. I don't even think it's finished.
No, it's all blurry.
He wouldn't get a job in the decorating trade.
I think you've done a wonderful job here.
Ah, thank you.
You're a very clever man, you know, very cultured.
Well, I like to think I know a little bit about art.
Oh, you do. You know more than Graham, that's for sure. You know about a lot of things.
Yes. Yes, I suppose I do.
I think you're probably an intellectual.
Yes, well, I did get a 2-2 at Leeds.
Sorry.
My degree, I'm a BA, you know.
I've been thinking about what you said the other day.
Hmm?
About the need to have children and how we've got to come up with something.
Good.
Well, I think I've got an idea.
Good.
If there's a problem with Graham and I'm all right, there might just be a way around it.
Good.
I thought if he can't, and somebody else can, perhaps someone else might like to have a go.
Good God.
I still don't think it's right. I mean, it's not what you do, is it? You don't put pictures up in a pub. Not those sorts of pictures anyway, not art. Oh, gee, to be fair, it did work. She did come down the pub. Probably will again. I might invite her. I could say, would you like to come to the pictures on Saturday? That's what I always used to say. Would you like to go to the pictures? Only this time it wouldn't be the pictures, it'd be the pictures. Do you get it? Eh? The pictures. Do you get it? Talk to yourself. I say talk to yourself, eh, Ted? You might just as well, Colin.
Colin, do you think that woman is entirely sane?
Johnny?
I mean, obviously, I've considered the moral ramifications, but only in the abstract. I didn't expect that.
What?
It's entirely different when the hypothetical becomes a reality.
The what?
I mean, I've always felt that I've been chosen. But I'm sure I've not been chosen for that. If that's what you mean.
For what?
I mean, conventional morality might have to suffer some modification, but there's no need to go completely off the rails.
I'm not with this at all.
That way, madness lies. Unless it's a temporary aberration.
Temporary aberration?
Yes. Yes, you could be right. That's probably it.
Is it?
Yes. Yes, it is. It is. It's a temporary aberration. Do you know, amazingly, Colin, you have a knack of sometimes coming up with something just when it's needed. A timely utterance gave that thought relief. And I again am strong. Wordsworth.
I thought it might be.
His intimations of immortality.
Well, you shouldn't try and do them.
What?
Wordsworth's imitations. I mean, when you do them, I don't know who it's supposed to be. I mean, who is that an impression of? Wordsworth was probably very good, very funny, but when you do them, it's hopeless. I'm not being rude, but when you do his imitations, they all sound exactly the same. You should stick to someone you know.
You blithering idiot.
Who's that, then? Arthur Askey?